Should old acquaintance be forgot for the sake of old lang syne? I think that's how it is. Welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue. It's our official Game of the Year time where Corey, Moose, and I reveal our top 10 games of 2018.
Woo! We're not doing a scoring thing this year. It's too much.
2018's been a fucking year. We're tired. Let's just end it. So
Merry Christmas.
We spent the last bit of time playing every game from 2018, so we are going to give you our definitive thoughts on all of it.
I think question. Do you think, because I look at my list and I'm like, I could definitely do a top 3, top 5. And then the rest is just, these are tremendous games that I played, fucking play them.
Yeah.
Do we want to kind of roll like that?
I'll be 100%.
What are we
honest.
doing here?
That's generally how I do it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to do it
like
with you.
I remember when
what she said.
The first year we did this, 2015, or was it 2016, Corey? I forget.
I don't remember.
Well,
I wasn't here.
The first year we did this, you Moose wasn't here yet.
It's my 2-year anniversary. Two times.
We did this, and I think I had fully played 8 of the games on my top 10, and they weren't even like my top 8. I think like my number 1 I had fully played, and then like 2 and 3 I hadn't played or something like that. It was. I mean, look, we got lives, we got jobs. Corey has a kid.
He's the worst
I've got hobbies outside of games. I'm trying to maintain a decent relationship with my partner. Moose
strippers and blow. Strippers and blows are hobbies outside of games.
Strippers and blow aren't cheap.
No, they're not. Why ain't you buying video games? Strippers and blow.
You know, Matt, strippers and blow are cheap if you know where to look.
Yeah, but have you tried those strippers and that blow?
I'm still alive, so no.
I mean, I prefer my strippers with teeth, because
2 tits.
Okay, we're already off to a flyer. So, Game of the Year, gentlemen.
Game of the Year, Strippers and Blow.
Strippers and Blow.
Title of the episode.
Fuck you, Moose, for that. Okay. All right. Now,
Strippers and Blow, the Game of the Year special.
Do any of you have some honorable mentions you want to just name? Say, hey, these are good.
Yeah, I mean, I have some because the last episode we did the category stuff, right? So there are some games that I didn't mention on there that I think deserve to be played or looked at or at least be thrown out there. So yeah, I mean,
I've got a few of those too. So go ahead.
I mean, Bad North is kind of like
Bad North is so fucking good.
Yeah, Bad North.
I haven't tried that. Okay,
it's a fantastic game. It's like a strategy game where you take control of up to 4 groups of you have an army and they're split up into 4 groups and you kind of level up these 4 groups as you move along. But you can lose those groups, right? And then you get knocked down to say you have 3 groups moving into an island. If you lose all the members in that group's gone and they don't come back. So then next time you move in, you go to 2. So you have to strategically go in and find islands where you can find a new group that you can add to your arsenal. And then you go to these different islands and you basically just protect the islands from incoming invaders with these groups. It's a really cool game. there's a quick look up on NGR Radio from the Switch version. I'm not sure if it's on anything else yet.
It's on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Okay.
Is it on PS4?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Shit. I didn't know that. Okay.
Cool. Bad North is on that list for me. Let's see. Where Valkyria Chronic. Well, no, that's on my list. I lied. Never mind. Forza Horizon 4 is a fantastic racing game. PC and Xbox One. It's pretty. It's that sense of speed is amazing. It's just a really, really cool experience for racing fans. Forza is one of those games that it's hard to criticize because it's just so good every year that a lot of the times people just forget about it because it's just kind of like, how do you improve this? You know? So Smash Brothers is on my list. I mean, anybody that owns a Switch is probably playing it by now. So, although it is extremely difficult, like I feel like when you go to unlock characters with like a challenger approaching challenge, it's like the AI is turned up to 10 and it's just so incredibly difficult. And I know it's probably just because I suck at the game and just mash buttons or whatever, which is what I play Smash for. But it's cool. Smash. Like, and the soundtrack is like 27 hours long, and you can put it in jukebox mode, where the music plays on your Switch without the game being open. So
that's cool.
If you buy it physically, the cartridge has to be in the Switch, obviously, but you can just set it to jukebox mode and just listen to the music. So it's got an awesome selection of songs on there. And then lastly, Sea of Thieves is just it's a cool experience with friends if you have an Xbox One or a PC. Like it's kind of empty and you definitely don't want to play it by yourself, but if you play it with a group of friends and just trying to steer the ship the right way can be a challenge sometimes, and it's a fun time. So those are my honorable mentions though. I didn't really play a lot of games this year, and the ones I did play, I tried to focus on those ones instead. So, but those are kind of my honorable mentions there. So,
Moose,
honorable mentions. I'm gonna have to go with Guacamelee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw out Hitman 2 in there because I have a top 10, but these are games that I really want to put on the list, but I was like haven't really touched them. So we've got Guacamelee 2. Messenger is on there. I would throw MLB The Show on there for PS4 just because those guys, Santa Monica, I believe, does it. They just put out a consistently great game every year. Whereas in like Tiburon, they're the ones that do Madden. They just do a consistently average game every year. Yeah. Like shots fired. EA.
I mean, their approaches are like MLB, the MLB The Show guys. They want to make a great game every time out. Where the Madden guys like, yeah, they're gonna buy it.
Yeah, they're gonna buy it. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
we just know you're gonna buy our game because we're the only football game in town, so we don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, so those are my honorable mentions.
For me, my first honorable mention is Minute. Like that would be 11 on my list. Minute's really cool.
That's the game where you only have 60 seconds to progress, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to try to like make your way to the next safe house or whatever.
Yeah,
the next area.
I mean, every time you accomplish something in the world, it saves, but you go back to the safe house where you started if you die.
Okay.
So you gotta like run to the end. So like the boss is like the end boss is no more than a minute away, right? You just have to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice pocket-sized. I think it's a nice pocket-sized platinum trophy. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but it's not impossible. It's a fun little game, a fun little story that goes some places and uses some mechanics with its minute time frame. And I think the new, like if you want to do New Game Plus as a challenge, like it drops it down to 40 seconds. And everything is doable within that 40 seconds. You just have to be very direct in your movement.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a breath of fresh air, considering no one really does that anymore. Also, I would put Unravel 2 on there.
That's a good one.
That is probably some of the better co-op I've played since Portal 2. Reba and I had a nice little blast playing that. On that note, Adventure Pals, that bonkers ass little platformer, is a fun time. Corey mentioned it in his indie talk. Lightfall, that is a good goddamn game. And then I also want to throw Monster Hunter World and Red Dead Redemption 2 in there because they are not on my list.
I would like to mention Monster Hunter World as well, because even though that game wasn't really for me, I bet if I had the time, that game, it's one of those games that if I had the time, I would probably love it. But I'm an adult with a job, responsibilities, and a wife and a kid.
Yeah,
so,
and stuff you have to maintain and keep in good working order.
Yeah, so I really actually really enjoyed what I played. It's just when you go on those hunts for 45 to 50 minutes and you don't make any progress because you suck too bad.
Yeah,
it's just man.
I'm finding it a hard time to actually capture monsters, because that's one of the missions I'm doing right now. But that's a series that I wish I was into before now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you on that, Matt. I wish I was into Monster Hunter before it came out, because I just didn't dive in with it when it came out, and just wish I gave it more time, or I was invested with it as it grew. You know what I mean? From its first iteration on.
And if Jason A. Striker from Giant Bomb is anything to go on, he said, yeah, if you're playing Monster Hunter World and you've never played a Monster Hunter before, don't go back because you'll hate it.
No, because I tried to play Monster Hunter Generations on Switch, and that was just a bad idea.
Well, that was rough, man.
And when Moose was talking about Dark Souls Remastered as his most disappointing, that was what I was thinking about. I'm like, it's because you weren't there. I mean, I'm not saying this to be elitist, but you just weren't there at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's all. Oh, also Swords of Ditto, and then Moose and Guacamelee 2 as well.
Yeah, I got one. I just want to say it's on early access, and it just dropped Thursday night. Hades by Supergiant Games. I don't even need to play it to know that it is going to be an awesome game.
Yeah. So luckily it's only early access, so it doesn't count for 2018. Yes.
So it'll probably need to Game of the Year next year.
Yeah,
another game I was super excited for until they said procedurally generated. I was like,
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a roguelike.
Yeah.
I don't think it's procedurally generated.
It is. They said it was.
Damn.
Oh man. Supergiant has got me they have me at full chub for Hades.
Dude, they've got me by the balls.
They literally just, I mean, it's Gen Z's art with a roguelike, and it's an action.
Shut up and take my money.
Oh,
shut up and take my money.
It's like Greg Kasavin and Amir Rao just following me around watching games I play, and be like, "I bet you don't like this."
And
I said that on Twitter, and they retweeted it. So yeah,
soundtrack.
And then they were like, "Hey, Corey, you're interested in this game?" No, you're not.
You played Dead Cells and you liked it.
Anyways,
that's true.
You are now officially interested in Hades. Let's get to our top 10. What do you say, gentlemen?
Nah, yes. I'm enjoying this talk of nothingness. Where
are you?
Well,
what was that?
Who wants to get us started?
You can start, Matt. Why don't you start, since you're the host of the show?
All right. Here we go.
I don't want to.
Too bad.
Okay. My number 10 is Subset Games Into the Breach. It's a roguelike, which definitely speaks to Matt. It's a mech chess game.
Game I wanted to like so much.
It is fun. It is engaging. It is invigorating. It's infuriating. And it's oftentimes it's heartbreaking because that's just roguelikes, but I love it. I mean, it's all turn-based, and you can sort of you get to see the entire other team's moves before you do anything, and you get to you can take breaks and readjust, or well, you can take breaks and get your thoughts together in between each turn, and it is fucking gripping at times. Unlocking new squads is fun as hell. Trying to like even the final areas of each level they're just packed with tension, and then when you win, like the release of that tension is so satisfying. Into the Breach is a great goddamn game. If you have a PC or you have a Switch, you can play them there.
Nice. A game.
Corey, since you demanded me go first, you go next.
Okay. Into the Breach, by the way, a game I wanted to like so much. Till they just reset me. I'm like, no. New pilot. I said, nope, delete. Goodbye. Number 10 on my list is a game I never thought would ever make a top 10 list for me, but made it anyway. Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Oh,
that blackout mode, man. That is I am really into the battle royale stuff right now, and I'll tell you what, that is the best of the best.
Spoilers! Did you see they're coming out with an update?
Yeah,
we get a new specialist, and they're retweaking Blackout. So
yep, I saw that. So yeah, it's a good one. I really enjoy that game. The mechanics feel good. Honestly, I haven't played any other mode except for Blackout. I haven't even played the traditional multiplayer or zombies. I've only played Blackout. So, although I need to do that tutorial so I can unlock some of the cool characters, because if you do whatever their fake campaign is, that teaches you how to use all the specialists. Like once you complete those, you unlock the specialists in Blackout. So,
yeah,
I need to do that. But yeah, that Blackout mode is insane. So much fun, dude. Especially when you get a rocket launcher and somebody's flying their whole squad in a helicopter and you shoot it down. Oh my gosh, dude! I was playing with Jesse, and we were driving on some ATVs, man. And I had a rocket launcher with rockets, and the whole squad was in the helicopter, and I shot down the helicopter, and they all died.
Don't even talk to me and Jason about helicopters. We were hanging out in the house, and like, I don't know, I came around to a window and I saw these guys land a helicopter, and they were going to the houses. It's like just a little little development area, and they were in the houses across the street. And he's like, oh shit, he's like, maybe they'll just go around us. So they came in, they busted in. Jason killed one of them, and then another guy came in, and I killed the other guy, and then I rezzed Jason, and then we're like looting them, and then he's like, hey, let's go steal the helicopter. I'm like, are you sure? And I'm like, I've never flown one. And he's like, when the heck are we ever going to do it again? So we hopped in the helicopter, and the helicopter was damaged. Dude had to shoot it once, and he's like, Jason's like, get out of the helicopter, it's going to crash. And it went down, and we blew up, the two of us, and we were playing duos. We were done. So I was just like, okay, note to self, don't get in the helicopter unless it's healed. But yeah, man. Wow, that's a good time. Good. It is a good time. Nice. He's drinking a beer, rolling on it.
He's only drinking it because we're talking about Call of Duty.
Nope.
Yeah, I know.
Well, now that I'm hosting, I don't really have a good moment, so I just have to just open it. A peach tambourine milkshake.
Peach tambourine milkshake.
Ooh. Yeah.
So I'll go next.
I actually want to play Black Ops 4.
We're gonna play. So here's the thing. I'm just gonna piggyback off Corey because that's my number 10. Because I bought it. I bought it like the Monday after Black Friday. It's on sale. I think it's still on sale for like $47. You can nab it. And I've been playing nothing but Kill Confirm, Safeguard, and Blackout, like nonstop. Jason and I played last night. Had a good time. We played a bunch of Blackout yesterday, which is fun. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. I have nothing against Fortnite. When I played Fortnite, I had a good time with Fortnite, but I like that there's no building mechanics in Blackout. It's like Blackout is just get your gun. Like you don't have to, Matt. If we're on opposing teams, just not saying that we're not playing together, but if you and I encountered each other in the same match, like if we had the same gun, I wouldn't have to worry whether you had a legendary version of it and I had like a common version of it. There aren't tiers to the gear. You pick up an AK-47. Let's just say that's a gun. I don't think it's a gun in the game, but anyways, you pick up an AR-15. It's the same for you as it is for me if I'd pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like the aspect of the guns are the same. And then you're sitting there and you're like, I got so many guns, I don't know what to do with, you know?
Yeah.
So you're calling out to your partners. You're like, I'm like, hey, Jason, how many medic packs do you have? Do you need some medic packs? Hey, there's armor over here. Hey, there's this, there's that. And you're just like rolling with each other and you're running through and you're trying to get gear. And then it's just like, let's move to the circle. Like the circle keeps moving. So it is, Blackout is a lot of fun. It's more fun the more people you have to play in the game with you. Personally, I have not tried single. I've not tried like just me versus everybody else. I'm always playing with, anytime I'm playing Black Ops 4 by myself, I'm playing Kill Confirm or Safeguard. And Safeguard's fun. For those that listen, I like more like team-based modes than I do like quote unquote kill death ratio modes. Like I don't play team deathmatch. I don't play deathmatch. I don't play any of that. I'd rather play a mode where we work as a team to win together. And Safeguard's awesome because you like escort a robot from your base to the other person's base, or you have to stop the other team from doing that from their base to your base. And so it's a lot of fun. Kill Confirm is cool because it's like you kill a person, they drop their dog tags. You pick them up for a kill. If someone kills a teammate, you can pick up their tags to deny the kill. And basically, it's just the first team to 60 wins. It's a lot of fun. My kill death ratio doesn't need to be the best in the world, but as long as I'm picking up those tags and we win, it's good to go. So Black Ops is just awesome. And then I played zombies with, it was me, Jeff, Jason, and Justin, our boy Justin Doss. And the four of us rolled in zombies for the first time, and that was a blast. It's really weird. Like this zombies is different than Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2. And I think it was originally in Call of Duty World at War, and then Black Ops 1, obviously. But anyways, it's a little different, but it's a lot of fun. There is a tutorial mode where you can play with people who have never played zombies before, and I did that. Dude, I was like 1.5 times the score of like anyone else around me. Like I had like 4,000 points and people were at like 1,000, like 1,500. And I was just like, yeah, I should probably just play regular. But I just wanted to see what it was like, you know, so that I could see what they were trying to help people build upon for their knowledge of zombies. But zombies is a lot of fun. It's a good time. You never win at zombies. You just get better. That's really just what it is. It's kind of like life. Like you don't win, you just get better.
Life is a horde
so anyways, mode. Yes. Life. It's a horde mode. Anyways.
My number 9 is Yoku's Island Express.
It's a good one.
It's a nice, delightful little Metroidvania pinball game that should not work, but oh my god, it does. It's a good story. It's fun. You're just trying to deliver mail real fast. It's great.
It's true.
You should play it.
It's real funny when you get to the island in that opening cutscene, and he's just like, "Oh, you're the new mail guy. Here you go."
Mm-hmm. Good luck, chump.
So funny.
Yeah,
I like the art style too, man. That art's really good in that game.
Played it on Switch. It's real good.
Yeah, it's real good.
I bought it twice. I bought it on Switch and then I bought it on PS4.
Oh, good. That means you bought it twice. You're supporting the developer. They can make another one.
Yep. Yoku 2. I'll take it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Corey.
My number 9 game is Darksiders 3. It's not great. It's kind of clunky, but it's just over the top enough. The characters are just cool enough, and it's just simple enough to keep me going. And it's exactly the type of game I want when I'm super busy.
Yep.
Like right now. So I don't really have much more to say about it, but the art style's real cool when it deviates from the quote unquote realistic look of cities and stuff, and you move into more of the comic booky realms. I like it. So, and the boss designs are cool. Yeah.
Word.
And Fury's probably one of the coolest characters ever. That's all I have to say.
All right. Moose.
Nice. Number 9 for me is going to be Death's Gambit. So
cool. I'm glad that made your 10. I really am. I'm glad that made your 10. That game is really good.
Oh yeah. I wish I had more time with it. I want to have more time with it. I want to try each one of the classes and play through the game. I might actually stream a playthrough this coming year of it. Newsflash, Misadventures of Moose does not end with Bloodborne. So I'm trying to pick my next game to feature in that.
Sequel is Bloodborne, The Old Hunters.
I already went through that. That was already done. But anyway.
And the Challenge Dungeons.
The Challenge Dungeons. They're the insanity. Anyways, Death's Gambit is a lot of fun. 2D side scroller, plays a lot like a Dark Souls game would. You just have to be smart about how you're playing. I do like the mechanics of it. Instead of you lose your quote unquote currency in the game, but you also lose a feather. It's you have feathers that regenerate your health. So you'll drop those wherever you die. And so you have to get back there to get both your currency in the game and your feathers. So it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. I need to mess around with it a lot more. And it also had my 3rd best character of the year, Vrawl. He was a lot of fun.
Captain Shit Talker. Yeah.
Exactly. Captain Shit Talker. So anyways, that was my number 9.
My number 8, and much like I'm kind of taking a page out of Moose's book with this. It is Fire Pro Wrestling World. This game did come out on PC in 2017, but it was released in 2018 on consoles with a story mode. And the story mode is actually kind of bonkers and fun in a weird way, because you are coming into New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it has all those wrestlers in it, but they are presented in a way like the way Persona does dialogue, or the way that the Zero Escape games do dialogue, where it's their face. Except it's actually the actual wrestlers' images, and they are they caught one of different emotions. So when they're confused, it's the wrestler going, huh? Or if they're laughing, it's the wrestler going, ha ha ha. So it's just single image like that. But the story is silly and kind of wonderful. But Fire Pro Wrestling World is the pro wrestling game that people should be playing instead of the WWE games. Because while those games excel in graphics and licenses, as far as wrestling goes, is to my knowledge, I feel like Fire Pro is more fun. And it uses a simple set of controls that the player can just change. So instead of this button prompt doing a pile driver, it'll do a suplex, or it'll do whatever special move you want it to do. And it also uses the flow of a proper wrestling match. for a long time, I didn't really understand what pro wrestling was, except for like bonkers characters, like, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, things like that. But long after I had stopped being a fan of that, I went back and just sort of dug into it. This is probably about 10 years ago now. And it was just I developed like a passing interest. I'm like, wonder what wrestling's like now. I wonder who like people think are really good. And apparently like Bret the Hitman Hart was still doing it at the time. Like he's not really doing it anymore because he's rather aged. But when they talked about like his great matches, they talked about how it was like a flow. And Fire Pro definitely works on that. Like there's no stamina meter, there's no life bar, but it works on knowing your character's like stamina. And you kind of always have a sense of it. You always have to maintain it. You might not be at 100%, but you always know you have to do the stamina regeneration button, but when you have moments to do it. And it's a really, really fun game. And plus you can create bonkers shit. Like I created a lot of my family members and I have them fight each other. It's kind of fun. I started creating everybody on this show. The move sets that I want to do are pretty difficult and I'm trying to nail it all down. I got a good meme moose going.
Nice.
I want to do one of the Nerds Gone Platinum guys too, so it could be so Nerds Gone Rogue can be number one in Fire Pro, even though we're not number one in the downloads. What?
Sorry guys.
Don't apologize. It's fine. But yeah, Fire Pro Wrestling World is a fun fucking game, and don't let the fact that it's wrestling fool you. It's actually a really good grappling game. It's a really good rhythm game. It's really, really fun. And you can create every aspect of it. You can do cage matches. You can do landmine matches, for God's sake. You can throw people into barbed wire and watch them explode. It's a good time. It's a real good time. Oh, and the music in it, metal as fuck.
Who doesn't love metal? Metal up your ass, motherfuckers.
Exactly. Play Fire Pro Wrestling. Corey, you're number 8, sir.
My number 8 is Octopath Traveler for Switch. That game is just a fun game just to sit and grind, and the characters are all unique, and that one character has a Pokemon-like aspect to it where you just capture the creatures and use them in battle, and then you get to someone like the Scholar who has something totally different, and you get to the Thief who has something totally different, and you just get all these unique characters together, and they're all just it's just fun to play around with the party system and see who works well with what, and I really like the Thief and the Hunter myself, but it's a cool world and cool art style, great music. It's just a really, really fun time, and also got it the day my kid was born, so it deserves a spot on my list. So
nice.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah. Moose don't care. He's listening to music.
No, I'm listening.
You're number 8, sir.
My number 8, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Whoa!
Wow! It's good. It's a good time.
It really is. It's a lot.
Like, listen.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of game.
There's
issues with it too.
Yeah.
But
so
I also feel like those issues are like artistic choices too. But you talk.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's like Skyrim. It's basically
Skyrim.
Yeah, it's Yeehaw Skyrim. There's so much you can do. There's so much that you can do in this game, and you're just like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do. Where am I going? What am I doing? Anyways, my problem, cons to the game, controls. Like fix your shit, Rockstar. I mean, it's like 2018, tighten your controls. But there's ways excuse me, I looked up a video to like fix the Red Dead Redemption controls. I did that today, and it's actually pretty good. Like things were rocking and rolling. I played online for the first time today. I tried the beta of online mode. Online mode's pretty fun. My only issue with it is like people just come along and like shoot you. Like you just spawn into the game and people are like, dead, you're dead, you're dead. And so I think Rockstar is working on some kind of like bounty mode. I feel I play with my cousin Christian, and I agree with him. He's like either A, take everybody off the mini map so you can't find people. Like you just come across them. Like if you're working a mission or work, like you'll just see a guy right by you can go kill him. He's like either that or do a bounty mode where like if you're just out there needlessly griefing people, like there's a bounty mode, kind of like the rogues in the Division, where like you can actually go and hunt them. But it's pretty fun doing the missions. It like you can also like hook up, like when you're doing multiplayer, you're in a posse. Like the two of us were just playing, and you're able to like hit team up like multiplayer, and it'll actually fill your posse of 4 people, and then the 4 of you can just ride off and take on a mission together. So we did that. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, the game has an amazing draw distance. It's got great scenery. Like the scenery is just awesome in the game, and the detail is crazy. Like the beginning of the game reminds me of Hateful Eight by Quentin Tarantino a little bit. You're walking through waist deep snow. I mean, it's insane. The game is awesome, and if you get a chance to play it, check it out.
Yeah.
That's my number 8.
Word.
My number 7 is a surprise.
Audible. My number 7 is Divinity Original Sin 2. Ho! That's right. I like that. Taking too long.
What?
It's gonna hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I just don't know. I don't know what sort of stream of consciousness bullshit you're working on. You just did your number 8. We're take turns here.
Now I'm doing number 7.
You just do what you want?
That's right.
Okay, great. My number 8 is Astro.
You know what, Moose?
Rescue Mission. Fucking hell.
You know what, Moose? I do what I want.
Not this motherfucker. Oh, what? What? I don't hear you. Oh, damn.
We should just create another room right now so he tries to come back into this one. It's not here.
That sounds like a real good idea. I don't want to do it, though, because it's Game of the Year. We should be doing
I know.
So my number 7 is Astrobot Rescue Mission. I'd been fully interested in VR by the time I got around to playing it. Tetris Effect had blown my mind several times, but Astrobot is the VR experience that it is what people have said. It's like the Mario 64 for VR, where Mario 64 displayed like 3D world exploration. This shows like a lot of dimensions to the possibilities of virtual reality. They also work within the confines of being tethered to the system by a wire, so you don't have to get up and wander around and step on your pets or your children or knock over furniture. It is fun. It is adorable, and it's probably like VR's first real attempt at Pixar, and the way that it sort of uses just your space around you is really cool. Like the opening scene, you see this ship that's basically a party bus for these astrobots, which you have to go rescue eventually. But it's just flying through space. Everybody's having a good time. They're just dancing. And then it just flies too close to the point where you're just like, you back up. You're like, yo, you get too close, Astrobot. I don't know what you're going to do. And then they back away. And they're like, oh, hi, we're here, blah, blah. And then like the villain shows up and he gets like even closer in your face. And you almost feel that this motherfucker has some bad breath. It's great. But then, once you get in the world, you're in like this space, but it's nothing but clouds all around you outside of the boundaries of the space. So I went to the edge and decided to try and look over, and I kept putting my face down lower, and then eventually my face hit the couch, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still in the real world. But yeah, Astrobot's really cool. And if you are interested in VR, that should be on your radar. If you have VR and haven't played it, you should. That's my number 7. Corey, number 7 for you.
Celeste is my number 7.
Okay.
It's one of those games that I think even if you're not a huge fan of platformers, you need to play. There's some frustrating areas, which is why it's not higher on my list, but like the wind levels are just obnoxiously difficult.
They're brutal.
Obnoxiously difficult. But it's very hard to tell a compelling story in a platformer, and Matt Makes Games is they were able to do it and do it well, and that's the reason why I kept playing, was to see the story through, and it's got a wonderful soundtrack, it has great mechanics, its art style is really cool, and it's just something that a lot of people should play, and it's relatively cheap. I think it's only $14.99 on the eShop and PlayStation. So like, if you have an extra $15 lying around, Celeste is a game you should play, especially if you're interested in a maybe not a unique story, but in a compelling story that's told in a unique way. So Celeste,
Limited Run is doing a physical version of the game.
Saw that. I'm considering it, but I'm like, I already own it, so I don't know if I'm going to. I'm not a huge collector of limited run stuff, but Celeste is one that would at least make me think about it. So, but Celeste is my number 7 game.
Okay. So Moose, you said your number 7 is Divinity Original Sin 2? Okay, talk about it.
It's a crazy game. Like, it is insanely detailed. You get to pick. So in the first game, you just picked like your class and like created your character, and then you get like a secondary character that you can make, and you basically play the game as a team. And then like co-op would be like so like say I built a melee character and then built a ranged character, obviously to kind of like balance things. Matt, if you jumped in the game, you could like be like the range character or whatever, or bring in your own character if you wanted to. And so they
gotta bring in Leroy, right?
That's right. I gotta have somebody running in to die first, and then I gotta be like, well, goddamn, I gotta revive them. So
great. He pissed off all those enemies, so now they're just ready for whatever's coming.
So now I gotta kill all of them and then res him. But anyways, in Divinity Original Sin 2. What's great about the game is it doesn't technically happen like right after the first one, so you don't need to play the first game to play the second game. But they have I don't even know what you would call them. They're basically like specialty characters, like story-driven characters for the game. And if you don't pick to play them and you just decide to play like a human paladin, which is what I'm playing, they're in the game, so you can play as them if you wanted to, if you start it from scratch, or you could just experience them throughout the game story mode wise. But it's turn-based. You have action points, so you get a certain amount of points to move, then you have a certain amount of points to attack. And basically the whole game is just trying to decide, like, okay, I'm going to do this with this character, this with that character. So there's some strategy to it. It's a lot of fun. You definitely want to do some thinking when you're playing the game, but also it's isometric, so it's like 3/4, 3.5, whatever you want to call it. You're definitely
like Diablo.
Yeah, it's kind of like Diablo scale. Like you can zoom in and you can zoom out a little bit, and what's great about it is you have time in between like attacks. So like if you go or like the fight starts and you have time to like figure out what you want to do with your attacks and such, and you don't have to like rush through it like if it was a active battle time like in Final Fantasy or something like that. But it's definitely worth checking out and playing. I know it was on sale recently. It'll probably be on sale again next year, but it's insane. Like, and it's insanely long. I know the first game took Jeff like 80 plus hours, almost 90 hours to beat. So if you're looking for a meaty like RPG, check out Divinity Original Sin 2.
I will.
I know you will.
My number 6 is Hitman 2.
Only 6?
It's only shocked.
6. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I thought that would have been higher.
I thought that would have been. Yeah, see, okay, Corey, we're on the same page. I thought that would have been higher.
Like,
all the good stuff he's been talking about it. I was
honestly, like when I made my first top 10, like it was 3.
Ooh. And it dropped that far.
But then I realized and then I started thinking about the stuff that I had below it. I'm like, okay, and like it all makes sense once we get there, but like, it's. I mean, I feel
it's a journey, not a destination, right?
Yeah, I feel like from here on out, like my list is really, really strong. Like, and I feel like of the like, we could probably move Fire Pro and Astrobot and Yoku and Into the Breach all around. My top 6 are like they're ironclad and they're all strong for their own reasons. But Hitman 2 is it's a brilliant thing that brought me back to a series that I thought I was done with.
Ooh.
And having not played one since Blood Money, like I was worried. I mean that was part of my apprehension of playing the 2016 game. But then I'd heard so many good things. I'd watched Brad and Dan play through all those, and I was laughing at them playing. I'm like, man, I should play that. And then the Hitsmith stuff on Giant Bomb is great, and all of that had made me want to play it. And then this came out. I'm like, okay, I will play this one. And then I found out like days before it was released that you could basically import all of season 1 into it if you had it. So I now have 2 full games to play for one. And having played all of Hitman 2, like that little diorama is a cool thing, and it's a really interesting take on the open world idea. Considering all the levels are really contained, but there's so much variance for player action, and so there's so much room for human success and error, and the slapstickness of it is great. I mean, and as I said a couple episodes ago, any game where you can kill a race mogul with his creation, and then kill a lady who's blackmailing you while you're dressed as a flamingo, and then escape as that flamingo on a speedboat. You have to look at that. The reactions of NPCs are great when they realize what you're going to do to them, or when they forget what has just happened. Like in the Columbia level, there's this door that's guarded by 2 guards. Well, I throw a coin into some grass that one guard hears, and he's like, "Oh, what was that? I'm gonna go look for it." And then he goes and bends over. He's like, nice money. So I strangle him in front of his buddy. His buddy's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Then after I get his buddy down, I crouch, and he's like, "Wait, where'd he go?" Where all I did was crouch down into some grass, and the fact that I have disappeared. It's like it's like the object permanence of an infant. Like if you're like, I'm sure there was a point, Corey, where Riley thought when you did this, you were gone, and it's like that in Hitman. And
she probably still does.
Maybe, I don't know when.
She's a baby.
I don't know when that develops and when it doesn't. I could wake up Reva and she could really school us, but I feel like that's not really relevant.
Wake her up. Here. We need to know.
Nope, I'm not doing this. No,
this is important for the show. This is important content. It's
also important with the consequences that I'm going to have to deal with, and I don't.
Well, that's not mine and Moose problem. We just want to know the answers of this.
Understood. Moose, you're number 6, sir.
My number 6.
Just gonna skip me, Matt.
Oh crap! Is it your turn?
Damn, that's cold.
See, he just started. See, Moose, you did this by doing the Divinity Original Sin 2 thing. Now I'm all bugaboo.
I like fucking up your flow.
I know. I appreciate it.
It's not my fault. Don't blame me. Blame me, Moose.
Me, Moose. Corey, you're welcome.
Corey, what's up, man? What you got?
My number 6 is Destiny 2 Forsaken.
Why?
Is that not technically an expansion?
Really? You're going Game Awards on us? Really, dude?
Yeah, I am.
God damn.
I didn't play a lot of games this year. Shut up.
That's fair.
Okay, all right. He's got a baby. We gotta give him a head start.
Yeah, I got a kid. All I can play is Destiny Forsaken. Me.
I really enjoyed the campaign of the expansion, and changing the way I play Destiny really put a different spin on the enjoyment I had for it. Just playing it casually and just trying to just have fun with it instead of like chasing down weapons and stuff. And I finally finished the second part of the campaign the other day, where you kind of unlocked it. It's not really part of the campaign. It's unlocking the Dreaming City, and just opening that up and walking around and seeing the change of direction that game made in terms of art style. And I wish there were more areas of the game that were like that. Destiny's looked the same for so long that when you find a new area that looks different, you're like, oh wow, look what they can do with this game. And the Dreaming City is cool, and the weapons are cool, and it's still fun to shoot stuff in that game with your friends. And
it's always fun to shoot stuff with your friends.
Yeah, it's weird to play it by yourself, and that's why I haven't played more of it. And it's just like plus time and trying to play other games and stuff. But what I have played of Forsaken, it's been really enjoyable on a bunch of different levels. So that's my number 6 game.
Nice.
I will say this: the Destiny folks, they come up with good names for places. The Dreaming City.
Yeah.
That's a cool name. That's a very evocative. It's like, I want to go to a city that dreams. I want to see what that looks like.
Plus the new characters, new/old characters they've introduced in this expansion are fun.
Is it new Xur or original recipe Xur?
Nope, Xur's still there, and he's still squiggly face.
Still doing his thing, man.
Yeah.
Still throwing down.
He's still just picking up what he's throwing down. No half stepping.
Spider is a cool character though. He's a fallen kind of mobster that they introduced in this expansion, and he has you go out.
Is he a reference to Goodfellas?
I don't know. I've never seen Goodfellas, so
I can't.
Come on, Moose. This is the news.
Spider? You're a real fucking prick, Spider.
I can't. That's.
You should see Goodfellas, Corey. He's really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe someday. Yeah. Probably not.
Probably it's probably the one essential gangster movie you should see.
I still haven't seen the last 5 Marvel movies, so
it's better than all of those.
Those you could skip all of those combined and just watch Goodfellas. You're good.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in a huge hurry to go see movies.
That's fair.
Yeah,
going to movies sucks. Actually, it really does.
We understand. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The next movie I'm seeing is in the next Avengers movie in April. So,
I think the last movie I actually went to the theater and saw was Deadpool 2.
Damn.
So, yeah.
I think the last one I saw was the last Infinity. It was Infinity Wars, Avengers.
I still haven't seen it. I think
it'll be on Netflix Christmas Day.
Yeah.
If you have Netflix, so you can watch it.
So
if you don't, why don't you have Netflix? Moose,
you're
number 6, sir.
So My number 6 is a co-effort. Okay.
Co-effort.
What does that even mean?
And it's a co-effort
co-effort
by two different developers making 2 different games, but they're awesome enough.
So it's a tie.
I've played just enough of the games to get them on the list, but they can't they need to be at the same number. Celeste and Time Spinners. Okay. That's my number 6. Celeste is a lot of fun. Like I said, it kind of plays like Meat Boy. You get a game mechanic. There's a new game mechanic in Celeste to kind of add to the Meat Boy aspect of just running, jumping, and doing your thing. So it takes that formula and tweaks it enough to where it's something new and it's something you want to do. Time Spinners, great Metroidvania game, has really good side-scrolling 2D action. It's interesting that you use magic in the beginning. You have an orb, you have different orbs that you can use that do different magic abilities. So it's a lot of fun. And the fact that you can rewind time or you can stop time is awesome. So that's my number 6. Celeste and Time Spinners. Excuse me.
So my number 5 is Marvel's Spider-Man.
Ooh. Also my number 5, Matt.
Sweet. This is a shock. This was a shock to me, just because superhero things aren't normally. Well, okay. Let me say this a different way. Non-original superhero things aren't my thing. I really like the Infamous games, and I feel like that was a take on the superhero story. Generally, when you want to add if you want to do a game based on the Batman license or whatever, I tend to not be in. But when I heard Insomniac was making a Spider-Man game, it definitely caught my attention. I felt in and out of interests over the course leading up to its release, and then when I finally played it, I'm like, I have to play this game all the way through, and I have to platinum it, and I'm not sad about any of it because the traversal, no open world game in the history of open world games has made me not want to fast travel the way Spider-Man did. And that in itself is a miracle, because getting around open world games can be pretty annoying. All of the characters are great. The interactions are great. The graphics are amazing. Cartoon Spider-Man in a world where that's CG and he still looks like it's something out of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a good time. The photo mode's good. Even Stan Lee's cameo in it is just amazing. There's very little bad about this game, and you should play it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. Since it's my number 5 too, I'm just gonna go off what you just said. I'm not huge on the superhero stuff either. I mean, I liked Infamous a lot, and I bought this because it was an Insomniac game, not because it was a Spider-Man game.
Exactly.
And I know how great they are with the last Ratchet and Clank game and Sunset Overdrive, which just came to PC. So if you guys are looking to play that game, it's great too. And I bought it based on those games and not because it was Spider-Man. And yeah, it still feels like a Spider-Man game from 5-10 years ago, but it feels like a better version of that, and it's more fleshed out. And the story is actually really engaging. I'm nowhere near done, but what I have played, it's I actually kind of really care about what's going on right now, and that's odd. And I like how they play with the characters a little bit, where you're not really sure who's good or who's bad or who's gonna make the turning point, and it's it's a great game. So,
and Spider Cop's awesome.
Yeah, Spider Cop bits are pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. So,
Moose, your number 5.
My number 5 is Iconoclast. Great game.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome side scroller. I also got to give it a shout out for its art, like its color palette, the way it handles the pixel art. Like, I like playing a lot of indie games because they also have what they basically do is they take like things that you're nostalgic about, like 16-bit games, 32-bit games, like the pixel art, and then they're able to add modern mechanics into it because we're in 2018, and so they do that with Iconoclast, and it's awesome. Like the puzzle solving's good, traversing around the world is awesome. You have like a melee weapon, which is the wrench, which you use to solve puzzles, but then you also have a ranged weapon, which is your laser beam, whatever, your laser gun. So it's a lot of fun. I recommend playing it. Like I said, like we said, it's on Switch. It's cross-buy on PS4 and Vita. Get out there, check it out. It's got a great heroine. It's got some good boss fights. It's got a good story. Get in there and mix it up. Take a chance on an indie. So that's my number.
Take a chance on an indie.
Exactly. Take a chance on an indie.
Waiting on that.
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance.
Change your mind.
Class is first in line.
That's our second copyright strike for this
Take a chance on an indie.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 4.
Ooh, here we go. We're getting
down to it.
Nitty gritty.
I think the only reason this ends up at 4 is because it came out so late in the year. Tetris Effect. This could have easily been my game of the year had I had a lot more time with it. But I listened to the Last Life podcast and they started doing their game of the year stuff, and I think Hayden's kind of right when he says at the end of the day it's just fucking Tetris. But
it's a great version of Tetris.
But I've seen a lot of bad Tetris. There have been plenty of bad Tetris out there, and you can say, "Oh, it's $40 for Tetris." Really? I'm like, have you ever played a free Tetris that's bad? You don't want to play a free Tetris that's bad.
True.
The team here, they did something beautiful to shine new light on an already basically perfect thing. Because I think if you really want to objectively look at it, Tetris is probably the best video game ever made at this point in time.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like, if you want to boil down what makes a great game, it's gameplay. You also want to boil it down to, like, Tetris's gameplay is there are 5 different Tetraminos? Is that right, Corey?
I don't know. You got the
two Z's.
Nobody got time.
The 2 Z's, the line, the 2. So okay, there's like 7.
Yeah, I think there's 7.
But all of those fit together, and if they don't fit together, it's basically your fault. So it's always a puzzle of getting them to fit together. So, and essentially,
is that how you play Tetris?
Wow, I don't know. But like, if you boil that down, video games are basically puzzles flying at you 30 frames a second, depending on which frame rate you want. And Tetris is the best distillation of that. But the fact that they made a Tetris that's kind of life-affirming and transcendent, and it has ebbs and flows, and between each level there's a nice little moment to exhale, and the fact that within each level everything is constructed to build up and let down, peaks and valleys. And the way that this structures like series of levels, because it'll do like 3 at the beginning, and then it's like 4 and 5 until you get to the very one, which is just one long sprawling. You have to get 90 lines. I've never wanted to play Tetris on hard mode before now. I've gone through I've gone through the entire journey mode on beginner, normal, and expert. The effect modes are great. Just putting on the VR goggles and going into theater mode where you could just look at shit. It's a good old time. Yeah, Tetris Effect is a great goddamn thing, and if you don't like Tetris, you should still try it. There's enough there. But yeah, Tetris Effect is my number 4. Corey, number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Ooh,
because
nice.
It's 4? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, because it's the number 4. I couldn't decide where to put it, so number 4.
Cool.
No, I really like the strategy aspect of it. I don't really remember liking the first game all that much, but this game really is scratching that Fire Emblem itch that, makes me not want to turn on my 3DS ever again. It's got, I like the way you can see an overview of your map and then move down to your units and actually move them around in real time. That adds a whole lot of, it just adds an element to the game that, Fire Emblem doesn't really add, where it's like, oh, I actually get a sense of where my units can be positioned, and, cover matters in that game. And, you can actually strategically kind of move your units around better that way. I just really like it. The story's not great. There's a lot of, it's a Japanese anime game, so there's a lot of unnecessary use of boobs and scantily clad armored ladies, but
boobs and
just throwing it out there. But it's still a really, really fun game, and I really enjoy playing it. And the dog
strongest armor in the world only covers their nipples.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
The dog is adorable too.
Yeah, that dog. Oh my god, that dog.
He wears a cool little hat too.
Oh, his hat. That dog.
It's a good time. So, Valkyria Chronicles 4. I don't really have much left to say about that, but
Moose. Numero 4, senor.
Octopath Traveler.
Nice.
Awesome.
Love that game. I had a blast with it playing beginning of the year. And Jeff and Jason need to give a shout out to Square Enix because that game definitely slowed down the start of my challenge for this year.
Yep.
Which helped them win.
Yep.
Because the game is so good.
Yep.
Like Corey said, there's different classes you can play with, build your party different ways, have all different kinds of aspects in your party. Like you could have, like you said, a Pokemon type character, which I believe is the hunter, where you can collect enemies and have them fight for you.
Old English. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So the hunter's cool. I like the quote unquote warrior. He's awesome. So you get to play with melee. Melee's good. I don't feel like the learning curve is too hard with the game. You just have to figure out what's going on and what you're doing, what you're strong at, what you're weak at. But I think the art style in the game is one of the coolest things. It looks like a pop-up book almost. It's a pop-up book crossed with a 16-bit old school pixel art game. It's the art styles is really awesome in the game. So if you have a Switch and you're looking for something to play, you gotta play Octopath Traveler. It's just great. It's good stuff.
I feel like that's one of those games that if we were still in the Wii U generation right now, that game they would be looking to port that to other systems. But because the Switch has sold so well, I don't think.
Oh yeah. It probably will never go anywhere.
It's published by Nintendo too.
So, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling that if you said, if the Switch wasn't doing as well, they probably would have just ported it to other systems. But it handles really well in
3DS, some dumb shit. But
yeah, I'm glad they didn't try and shoehorn it into that platform. I'm glad they gave it the Switch treatment. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. So my number 3 is Dead Cells.
Interesting. That's also my number 3, Matt.
Huh.
Y'all just like need to stop copying each other's Game of the Year lists.
I mean,
oh shit! My number 3 is Dead Cells. That's awesome.
Man.
I like how Moose he's laughing as hard as he is right now. You know he just figured this out. Like when I said Dead Cells, he didn't realize it. But
well, my 2 games that are before it, I mean, if you listen to my other podcast, you know what they are. So
yeah,
but,
that'll be available before this is. But whatever. Dead Cells for a while there, it was my game of the year.
It's a great game.
It's like, and I feel like that this and my top 2, you could probably mix them around and still have a solid list for me.
And you could pretty much play those 3 for the year, probably.
Yeah, like I mean, I could have just played these 3 games and been like, yep, 2018 is good. 2018 is fine. Video games are alive and well, just based on these 3 things. Yeah. But Dead Cells it taps into a lot of my favorite things. I do like side-scrolling platformers. I do like roguelikes. I do like Metroidvanias. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is less Metroidvania than it was sort of advertised. When it was brought to my attention.
I want to say not by them.
No, it was brought to my attention in early access. Like people, I think it was Kill Screen Daily where I first saw it, and
I want to say it's like Metroid Light.
Yeah,
like as far as that aspect goes, because you do need stuff to progress in the story, but it's not like I have to go all the way the hell over here to get some and come all the way back to use it. Like it's not as in depth as a Metroid.
I think one thing, and I've beat the game multiple times, and as you beat the game, like those doors that you knock on that don't answer, some of them open eventually after you've beaten the game.
Very nice.
And sometimes there's something behind those doors that's worth your time. Sometimes there's not, but that game is full of just good, solid times. I feel like the chaos that normally happens in roguelikes that I'm a fan of doesn't happen in Dead Cells as much as I would like. But I feel like if you added that to it, it might make that game too much. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to there's a Nick Sutner, formerly of PlayStation Blogcast. He actually helped do some writing on Celeste, and he wrote a book about Shadow of the Colossus a couple years ago now. But he started a show called the Spelunky Show, where it's just he and a bunch of guys that are just waiting for Spelunky 2 to come out. So they made a podcast about Spelunky 1. Why not? But there was something he said about roguelikes that really sort of crystallized my thoughts on Dead Cells. A lot of good roguelikes are a Rube Goldberg machine, where it's all randomly generated, but it all continues to work despite being randomly generated. Mm-hmm. Some of my deaths in Spelunky are really good examples of that. But Dead Cells isn't so much a Rube Goldberg machine, and I feel like that serves Dead Cells better than it would a game like Spelunky. Like Spelunky kind of thrives on its chaos, which is and you get up to some fun things, but Dead Cells is fun because it's not chaotic, because everything is just sort of laid in front of you and you make choices and you move forward. Or you don't, and then you try again. But yeah, Dead Cells is fucking great. And Motion Twin Games, I will buy whatever they make from here on out.
It's like Supergiant.
Yeah,
they're like that's their Bastion.
Yeah, they found their way to my heart, and now they're just stuck there.
They're like in my indie.
I mean, I think if you would have done my games of the year Bastion came out, I think Bastion would have been number 3 too. So weird similarities. Corey. Oh wait, you guys all like Dead Cells.
We all like Dead Cells. So
you guys have anything to add?
Got anything to add, Corey?
No, I mean, just like I said in the categories episode, Dead Cells on paper is like everything I hate about games, you know? I hate roguelikes. I hate I hate procedural generation. I hate all that crap. But when something just comes together and everything just works so perfectly and the combat feels good and the different weapons you pick up feel like they just feel so good, and I couldn't get enough of it. You know, I played it again the other day just because I was like, I was waiting for some patches to download, and I was watching some stuff on YouTube, and I was like, I'm just gonna play some Dead Cells, and I ended up playing for like an hour when I only meant to play for like 10 minutes.
Nice.
So, I mean, there's nothing much left to say about Dead Cells except I think in any other year, it might have been number 1.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But, I mean, 2018, even just like last year in different ways, it was just packed full of amazing games. So, Dead Cells is a great game. So,
yeah.
Moose?
Yeah. Word.
Play it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta play Dead Cells. It's a lot of fun. I don't think we've spoken to like the speed of it. Like you could be really fast moving through that game, which is awesome. And some of the times you have to be, because for those that don't know, there are like timed gates throughout each level. And so like you start in the beginning level, and I think it's like 1:30.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So it's 2 minutes to the first gate, then it might be like 5 minutes to the second gate in the next level. So if you move fast enough, you can get the benefits of those gates. But the good thing is the game doesn't lock anything behind there, like patterns to weapons or skills or passive skills, I guess I should say, or mutations. So like if you don't make it to that gate, it's not like you're being punished for it. Like, you know, you can just keep moving and eventually you'll find the stuff if you keep playing, you know, over and over and over again. But that's what I like about the game, and that's nice. So you can move at your own pace, or you could just like, I'll play around and I'll just be like, I'm just after souls. So I'm just burning through here as fast as I can. I'm not trying to collect everything. Or I'm like, I want to try and take out this boss and make a run for beating the game. So I'm going to try and get everything. So I don't give a crap about those time gates. But the controls are good in the game. The moving of the character's good. Story's good. He's funny. Quote unquote, the prisoner. Oh, he's hilarious.
Dead Cells guy's great. And he's coming to Soul Calibur 6, I've heard.
If he does, that is freaking awesome.
Who's coming to Soul Calibur 6?
Dead Cells guy.
That's the prisoner. That would be interesting to see him in 3D.
I've heard that, or maybe I've heard it was that they, or it might have been another game. I know he's coming to a fighting game, which is funny as hell.
Are you sure it's not Brawl Out, which is the like Shovel Knight and the Guacamelee and Hyper Light Drifter guy are on there?
Oh, maybe it is that. Oh, never mind.
I mean, it might be Soul Calibur. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I heard he was coming to a fighting game. For some reason, I got latched onto Soul Calibur. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
I'm going to look it up. Yeah. Dead Cells Prisoner.
In the meantime, I will move to my number 2. And I have a feeling it might be your guys' number 1. So if it is, we will talk about it when you guys get to it. But my number 2
is Brawl Out. Sorry.
My number 2 is God of War.
Okay.
Is that later in your guys' list?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
No, mine's number 2.
God of War's number 2
for me.
Okay, well then we'll wait till we talk about we'll let Corey.
That's fine. Yeah. That's cool.
Corey, you're number 2, sir.
My number 2 is Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on in that game at all. Like I said in the categories episode, but like it's still it was one of the funnest games I played. You know, just it was really refreshing to see a game not really focus on combat. I mean, there's a lot of combat in that game, but like it really focuses on the puzzles and the tombs and the crypts and the collectibles and upgrading your bow and crafting and stuff, as opposed to like just murdering everybody like Uncharted does sometimes.
Yeah.
So it was really a blast to play. I think I finished with like I beat the game with like 96% completion, and I'm still debating on whether or not I should go back and collect the rest of the collectibles, or I mean, they're all just like right there. It's there, and the sad thing is they're all in one area too. So I could just go in and like collect them in probably like an hour and 100% that game. But it was a blast to play. I really enjoyed finding all the outfits, and all the secret tombs were really fun to solve, and they're really hard. Like you really have to think about a lot of stuff when you do that. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it was really good. Still think that a lot of people blew it out of proportion just because it wasn't Crystal Dynamics this time around. But
yeah.
Also, what I enjoyed about it is they really kind of went back to the way the first game in the reboot series is like a kind of one location style thing where you could like move across the island and go back and find stuff or move forward, instead of like I think Rise of the yeah exactly. So number 2 on my list is Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay, well, my number 1 is a game you guys have talked about, and I won't talk too much about it, but it's Celeste. And
interesting.
I love platformers. Platformers are a good way to my heart. And as I've grown older, I've liked more difficult platformers, which is weird. But I also think that that Madeline's story is something that all of us in general could probably take a little bit of heart from. I mean, there's a lot of people that are spending time asking her why she's climbing the mountain. And, and she's like, why shouldn't she climb the mountain? And then like early on in the game, you meet Madeline's dark side, which encapsulates like her anxiety, her self-doubt. And then the game becomes about Madeline overcoming that. And about 2/3 of the way through it, she, has a panic attack, and the player has to get her through this. And that is something that, I've never seen someone try and articulate that in life or in a method of getting through a puzzle. And it's done with elegance and awareness in a way, and it's also done with a good balance of reverence for what's happening and what has happened and how far you still have to go. Now, at the end of the game, Madeline has a good realization, and it's a realization that I believe in, and it's a realization I believe everyone needs to come to. You need to accept your flaws. That because they're part of the picture that is essentially the person you see in the mirror. Your flaws, your strengths, your successes, your failures, your mistakes, and your flashes of brilliance. It's all part of you. And Madeline's story accentuates that to a T. Am I the same person as Madeline? No, but I saw a lot of myself in her. There's a person I dated before I met my partner now. and I would love for her to experience Madeline's story. Not because I feel like it would help her, but I just feel like she would see a lot of brilliance in that. And yeah, like I feel like that is a story that kind of did a lot for video game storytelling, or at least my opinion of it, because I now know that, hey, this can be a very different thing that I have thought about. So for that, as well as Lena Raine's music, Matt Thorson's story, even the side character Theo, which I probably should have had as my biggest dork, because all he wants to do is, he's just this happy-go-lucky guy from a distant kingdom called Seattle who wants to take selfies of himself for his blog. And he should be a biggest dork, and I'm sad I forgot about him. So shout outs to Theo. The game's good. The boss fights in it are good. The arc of it is good. The B-sides and the C-sides are fucking great. There's no bad in this game. I don't want to say it's perfect, because what's perfect? But there's no bad in this game. Gentlemen, let's talk about God of War, shall we?
You missed my number one, but that's fine.
You don't get a number one.
Corey's next.
We know it's Bloodborne.
Corey's next, so we should talk about God of War. Your number one is after that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I really had to think hard about God of War, putting God of War at number one, just because I did not play it the same way everybody else did. You know, I really wanted to see the story through, and I kind of rushed through it after my kid was born because I stopped playing it, and then I wanted to finish it. And after going back and replaying it and just kind of taking it in slowly and kind of playing that game with a different mindset, it's kind of incredible how they resurrected this franchise. First of all, you know, secondly, making Kratos a way more interesting character, you know, and kind of grounding the series in a way. You know, God of War hasn't exactly been somewhere you go for rich storytelling and compelling characters, you know.
But then sex mini games, though, am I right?
Yeah. Every game just add one more lady to that hot tub behind the curtain.
How did that happen? Circle to the left, circle to the right, triangle, square.
Don't ask questions.
Circle. Don't ask questions, boy.
A little bit of water and trying it again.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, boy. Hunt that deer.
Stay hydrated.
Hunt that deer. And then, like, to open with first of all, to open with a
funeral to the boy's mother.
Yeah, like that was so emotional, and just kind of the way the music ramped up, and I don't know, man, that scene just really gets me every time I see it. And then after that, you have the battle with the stranger, and you continue on to the world serpent and that kind of hub area. And it's just, I don't know, man. This game just does a lot of things right. And even though, like, for me, I didn't really care about the combat until I got the chains, you know, because that's really how I wanted to play the game. But, you know, using the axe to solve puzzles and kind of moving around the world and being able to beat up guys and call your axe back whenever you want. Like, there's just a bunch of little things that make this game really special and honestly quite deserving of the Game Awards Game of the Year stuff. And I'm sure many other outlets, by the time people see this, will have voted and stuff.
I'm still super shocked that it got it.
I know. I'm
not
Red Dead was
shocked
going to take it.
Because I remember the year Grand Theft Auto 5 got it, and I was pissed because, Grand Theft Auto 5, Landmark, whatever it is, it's gone on to be the biggest selling entertainment thing ever. But it still feels like Rockstar could just walk to a game of the year every time they release a game, and I was really glad that that it didn't.
Mm-hmm. Especially with how it was cleaning up at the show, like every other award seemed to be going there. And
best soundtrack. What soundtrack does that even have? It's all incidental.
I know.
Yeah, and like Spider-Man got snubbed.
Yeah, Spider-Man got Horizon.
Don't get me wrong.
It did. It got Horizon.
Talk about a game that should have won something.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Like Daniel Lanois is a great producer, a fantastic composer. He's responsible for some of the most important albums of the last 30 years. The Red Dead soundtrack is not listenable outside the game. And I feel like that you have to be able to do that. Sure, when I listen to Celeste soundtrack, it calls me back to the levels because that's what it's supposed to do. If I listen to any great movie score, instrumental or otherwise, it should call back to that movie. But it should also be separate from it. And I don't feel like Red Dead's is.
Yeah. But anyways, just the way, like, the one thing, it's the spoilers for God of War. If you haven't played it, I don't care. But like at the very end of the game, like, it doesn't end with some over the top boss fight. It doesn't end with some like the one thing that kept Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I don't think it would have been number one anyway, but kept it from being number one, was the end and the stupid forced boss fight that, like, it's the same problem I have with Uncharted, where like you don't have to end the game with a boss fight. And that's what I really appreciated about God of War, is like it just ends. You get to where you want to go at the beginning of the game. You finally get there, and it's just this nice calming ending, and I really appreciated this game for that. And
you just see the look of pride.
Yeah.
Like they rendered that really fucking well. Like Atreus just looks up at his dad, and his dad puts his arm around his shoulder. It's like, yeah, we did this, son.
Yeah, and like something that a lot of people don't really talk about at the end of the game, where like Atreus's name he wasn't really supposed to be named Atreus. Like I never heard once anybody talk about that.
Yeah.
About how his mother wanted to name him Loki. Which is like, yeah, okay, everybody thinks of Marvel when they think of Loki, but like Loki's a really important
Norse god
figure in Norse mythology, and it's like
he just has a different path with Marvel. He's technically the same thing. He's the bringer of Ragnarok. So
I know, and that, like, hearing that kind of in the way it ends after the credits, roll, and there's like that second ending or whatever.
Well, if you just go home.
Yeah, it really kind of makes me excited for a sequel, because that the beginning of the next game, if they make another one, which I'm sure they are, but the beginning of that next game is going to have just as epic or even more so than the Stranger Battle. So it kind of reminds me of when you play God of War 2 on PS2 and you have to fight the Colossus of Rhodes. Like, this is going to be that moment for God of War 2 or 5 or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm playing it again. I'm really smitten with God of War. I really like it. Now I'm playing a New Game Plus, so I already have the chains and everything. But like, just going through and playing it again and finding the collectibles and finding the Valkyries and stuff, like, it's just really cool. So
nice.
Gotta have those blades, man.
God of War is really good.
It is really good.
It really is.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add, Moose, or no?
Well, God of War is my number 2. So, I just agree with everything y'all said. It's really good story-wise, character development-wise, action-wise.
We have to mention Mimir. Mimir's great. The dwarves are great.
Mimir's great. Like the
Freya's
secondary,
like,
the NPCs are top-notch in that game.
I really like Freya in the way her story went too.
Yeah,
because like you don't really know.
Yeah,
and when the story unfolds between, just the way it happens is like, it's
that kind of like that classic story where like the mother wants to protect the son or daughter, in this case the son, from like anything in the world hurting them, but in doing so has cursed. The son sees it as a curse because he can't feel anything, and so it's just that aspect of it. And then, Kratos makes the decision that he makes, which I would have made the same decision. I mean, I would have fucking destroyed him.
Well, I mean, at some point, it's your son or her son.
Right. And I'm definitely going to pick my son over her son any day of the damn week. One thing, like, I enjoy God of War, loved it. I struggled, and it's probably more me than other people, but I struggled a little bit with the combat, and I didn't enjoy it as much, and that's why it's my number 2. It's my number 1. And I also feel, and I hope they don't do this, I hope this is just not another like tour de force through another mythology, just killing fucking everything. Like, so far you pretty much kill a vast majority of the people that you meet, like that Kratos meets. You kill the stranger, you meet him, it's your first fight, you kill him, you kill Thor's sons, spoilers, the surprise ending is you go back to your house and Thor shows up after a while, so you're gonna have to fight Thor. So I don't want it to just be another tour de force through like Norse mythology and you're just killing fucking everything like you do with Greek mythology in the first 3 games. And I hope they kind of do something different and they take a different approach to it, which I'm sure Corey Belrog will do. I'm sure he'll do a great job of it. Second place Corey, only to our own. So I hope they understand that.
Mr. Balrog.
Right. I just hope that that's not going to be the approach they take. I hope they take a different path. But other than that, I mean, if you haven't played God of War this year, you're living I'm sorry
for you.
and you're living a shitty life. Like, you need to buy God of War and you need to play that game. Like, you do. And as a person, so like, here's my thing. Like, little backstory on me. I only played God of War 1, like the very first one on PS2.
Same here.
And then I didn't play 2, didn't play 3. And so my reintroduction to the series was God of War, and spoiler alert, this is God of War 4. So, everybody thinks it's a reboot. It's not really. It's just a continuation of the series. So God of War 4 is, I come back in with a whole new start of a whole new series. Excuse me. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. Kratos was, awesome. His son was a dick at times, but he redeemed himself, I thought. Like, his character development took him to an arc where I liked the kid. I liked him in combat. He was actually fucking helpful for once with an NPC follow along. But it had a lot of good stuff going on. Puzzle solving was good.
There's only one NPC follow along that's ever been more helpful to me, and that's Solaire in Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you
Praise
that.
the sun.
I'll give you that. But anyways, so it's a good game. Play it. So
yeah, I think the only PS4 exclusive I like more is Horizon.
Yeah.
So okay. I mean, not to say that you know what I mean? Like, I just really enjoyed playing Horizon and exploring that world, and it's more of the game that I like to play. But God of War is just so. It's a special game.
That's interesting.
All right, Moose, tell us your number 1.
My number 1 is Spider-Man.
Cool.
Number 1 with a bullet. I'll just say it's just like personally, I liked the story a little bit more in Spider-Man. I liked seeing the struggle of Peter Parker dealing with Doc Ock. Like that was cool at the end of the game. The decision to actually like not sacrifice everybody in New York, to save his Aunt May. He was like, I can't do this. Like we have to find a cure for whatever's going on. His situation going on with Mary Jane, and then possibly trying to get back together. Like his character growth is because like they broke up, not because he was Spider-Man or what he was doing. It was just because he was trying to protect her and didn't think she could do things on her own. And that was his mistake. And it took some growth in the game from him to figure that out, for him to reapproach the relationship. And so maybe we'll see them have one in the sequel, which I'm sure they're going to be making, because this one made boku's money. I think Spider-Man's actually sold more than God of War. So that's awesome. But I think Spider-Man's combat for me was better than God of War's. And like I'm saying right now, it's just probably because, whatever. I was playing God of War, trying to get through it. And so I feel if I actually tried to tackle the combat system and understand it more, it would like raise it a little bit from where it is right now currently. But I think Spider-Man handled the combat better than Batman does. Arkham City, to me, is just straight up trash. Like Arkham City is like, you can only defeat this guy one way and that's all you have. Whereas in like Spider-Man, they give you a guy and you can take him down like multiple ways and you don't have to rely on one way to take that person down, which I thought was just a headache. Like I would have gotten the platinum for Arkham Knight had they not done that. And they did that and I was like, I'm not dealing with your shitty ass combat. So screw you. Peace out. And Batman totally aped the combat from Spider-Man, So it's enjoyable. Story's great. Combat's great. The city is awesome. Like you go up to a building and you can actually see in the building, like, and see what people are doing. Like there's, it's like a scene going on or whatever. Like there's like.
You mean it's not Christmas time and everybody's inside?
Yeah. Yeah,
like in the Batman games.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like you go up to a window, and I mean there might not be people in there, but it's like it looks like an apartment. Like it's like there's a bed, there's a nightstand, there's whatever going on, and then you can just move on. And like the controls are awesome. Like swing around the city. Like
I really like too. Like in Spider-Man, when you're like swinging and you run into like a building. Like he automatically just starts wall running, and then when a fire escape comes up, he just weaves through the fire escape naturally and just keeps going instead of like most games where you just hit it and you're like, poof, and you just stop and you're like,
you hit a break wall and it breaks
like water towers on top. If you mistime one of those, he just does that little spiral through.
Yeah, like like their parkour in that game is just awesome. They did a great job of just having it be adaptive to what you're doing. Like you said, like you hit the fire escape, you'll weave your way through it and you'll go up, or you're swinging across buildings and you just miss a jump and he'll just like flip and turn and you'll be able to like pick up where you left off. But the movement in the game is awesome. And I would have platinumed the game a lot sooner than I did because I, having used fast travel, because there's a fast travel portion to the game. But
it's pretty funny though.
There's a fast travel portion to platinum, which is like, hey, just so you know, we have this. You need to do it 5 times.
But I'm like, no, like I'd rather just move around the city. Oh, I've got to go from one end of the city all the way to the other, and it's going to take me 5 minutes of web slinging. I'll do 5 minutes of web slinging because it's fun and it's awesome.
Well, and then like I'll take care of every crime along the way because that shit's fun too.
Right, exactly. So, and then they built really well on the combat moves, and the skill tree was pretty cool. Obviously, one of the trophies is maxing out your skill tree, so you'll have like every combat, and then like your gadgets are cool, like working your gadgets in your suits. Like
The suits,
I
the
liked,
suits is the secret best thing about it.
I liked the fact that they kept the suit ability separate from the suit. So I use the generic. I use the actual Spider-Man suit for the game. The power, which increases your focus ability, your focus bar, it increases your focus regeneration. And I use that ability, but I wear the Iron Spider suit from Avengers. That's the suit I wear. So I thought it was cool that they kept those separate. They weren't like, oh, you have to use this suit to have that power. Like it's tied to that suit. That was really cool of them to do that. And then like the very last suit, spoilers, the old school cartoon one makes it look like you're playing like a Scanner Darkly. The Keanu's, yeah, like they can't. Like I think of Scanner Darkly, the Keanu Reeves movie.
Well, you're onto something. I think like he looks like that, but like when you see him in relation to
everything else, it is. It is. It is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So that's my number one. Is Spider-Man.
Not a bad number one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's number one is a bad number one. Like top three,
our top three is all around real solid.
Go play them, legit. Like go play them.
Like I get it. Not everybody wants to play Fire Pro Wrestling World, but if you're sleeping on Dead Cells and Celeste and Spider-Man, God of War, like you're fucking up.
I feel like Mm-hmm.
So we've all done our top 10s for 2018.
Yeah.
It was a really good year.
Yeah.
A really, really good year.
Following up with 2017, that was 2017. 2017 was a good year for games, too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was lit.
Like,
it was lit.
So.
Look at Moose using the hip lingo.
Yeah. Look
hey, I'm like the oldest man on my team at work, so I got to try and stay hip. I'm the oldest person on the team. So.
Well, so let's talk about one last thing before we call 2018 a wraps. What are you guys looking forward to for 2019? I know Moose and I are looking forward to Sekiro.
Code Vein.
And Code Vein.
And Ghost of Tsushima, I think, is going to be 2019.
Do you think it is?
Yeah, I think it'll be fall. I really do. Or they might. To be honest, I could see PS5 being launched in 2020. Ghost of Tsushima spring of 2020, and then Last of Us will be summer, if not fall of 2020, and be the swan song for the PS4. Like Last of Us was the swan song for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So I think that's sound. So like really, Sekiro next year I think is going to be awesome. Code Vein is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to the Division 2. I'd like to see maybe the three of us play that, get in on that on PS4, possibly. I know Jeff, Jason, and I are going to be playing it. So I don't really like Blasphemous. It's an indie game. Check it out. Had a kick-ass Kickstarter. It's like Dark Souls. Mm-hmm. It's 2D side scroller. Looks awesome. It's coming out supposedly next year. If they push it, I have no issue with that. The Bloodstained. Isn't Bloodstained the main one coming out? I know Curse of the Moon dropped.
It's supposed to, but
I'm looking forward to that.
I haven't gotten any updates about it. They haven't really started nailing down that stuff. I'm cautious about it coming out next year.
Yeah. What about maybe a Borderlands 3? What if they announce it at E3 and then drop it in the fall?
I think if it's going to get announced, it'll get announced. I don't think it'll come out until the next generation of consoles, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's.
You think they'd skip one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Gearbox has put themselves in a bit of a problem space, and they want to make sure the next thing that they do.
They had Battleborn.
Plus, they're gonna want. I mean, you saw how successful the Borderlands 2 DLC was. They're gonna want to try to capture that magic again. And if you release it on the last year of a console generation, you're not gonna recapture that magic.
But here's the thing: if you release it on the last legs of a console generation and the next console is backwards compatible, it doesn't matter. Because I'll be honest with you. If they say, okay, it's coming out in 2020 during the last legs of the PS4, I will probably buy it on PS4. And if it's PS5 is backwards compatible, I'll just buy a PS5 when it launches and continue playing it on the PS5.
See, the problem with that is that statement is still an if.
Right. No. I'm gonna be honest. If Sony is stupid enough not to put that feather in their cap and take away that one on the scoreboard, that one mark against them on the chalkboard that Microsoft has as far as backwards compatibility goes, they would be idiots.
I agree.
They would be real stupid idiots. So, for them to do that would be dumb. So I have a feeling that they won't do it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Corey, are you looking forward to anything?
I'm really looking forward to Anthem, which, I guess if this is the last episode of the year, I guess we could probably announce the Jesse and I are going to start a half-hour Anthem podcast, I think.
Nice.
Going into next year. So
did you get into the beta?
Yeah, I did,
alpha?
I did, but all the play times are like during when I can't play. So
because you taking care of that kid and also working.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's.
I mean, I might be able to play it a little bit next weekend, but as of right now, can't really. So I mean, I'm really looking forward to Anthem, and Gears 5. I think looks pretty good. Luigi's Mansion. Halo's 2020.
Is it 2020? You don't think it'll be next year?
I don't think they would release Halo and Gears at the same time. Plus, I think they want Halo Infinite to be the flagship launch title for. They're going to pull. Console. I think they'll pull Breath of the Wild, where, it'll be their Breath of the Wild, where it'll straddle generations. The thing is, though, I think if you have an Xbox One, you'll be able to play with Scarlet players. So
you think they're gonna? You think they didn't hit you? They like hamstring the Scarlet version by having to make them play with Xbox versions?
No, I think there'll be a Scarlet version and an Xbox One version. But the thing is, if the next Xbox is backwards compatible, they're in this weird place where, like, well, if I buy it on Xbox One and then I get a Scarlet, will it look better? Will it be the same game? Will it be a different game? Like, you know what I mean? That's still a question mark too.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like 60 frames versus 30 frames a second.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Halo's 60 frames.
So
they have scaling resolution to keep the 60 frames. So
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. But Gears 5 I think is the big one for me next year, and Luigi's Mansion 3 looks great.
That's next year.
Metroid's still up in the air for next year, which I'm surprised they didn't announce Metroid Prime Trilogy for Switch, which makes me think that Metroid's being pushed to 2020 as well. But
Dying Light 2. We didn't say Dying Light 2.
Yeah,
that looks good. That looks good. Especially with the legit, your actions affect, like your decision making really affects the rest of the gameplay. Like NPCs won't talk to you. Like, you'll form enemies pretty quickly. So yeah, you have to like really take your decision making, into consideration.
Yeah. The other big two for me are Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is coming to Switch next year, and Control, which is the new Remedy game.
Yeah,
so
that
Control
actually
looks
cool.
awesome.
I'm glad that's multiple platforms, so that'll be good. I think that'll be really good.
Yeah. So Rage 2 looks pretty cool.
I'm kind of hesitant with Rage 2.
It says if it's on sale at some point, I will probably get it.
Far Cry, was it New Dawn?
Yeah. Dude, that game looks like it's outraging Rage 2, out Fallouting Fallout.
It's out falling Fallout.
And out Borderlands almost.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. Maybe Obsidian's new game. I know they just announced it.
Outer Worlds. Awesome.
If that drops next year, that's,
They said it's on pace for 2019.
I mean, if that's a fall game, I'll definitely buy that game. The only problem, here's my problem with that, and this is my thing. Like, if it's a self-contained game, like I'll play it. But if it's like, oh, well, here's our first game, and then now that Microsoft bought us, the sequel is gonna be locked on the Xbox. It's like, am I gonna want to invest in that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean, no offense to the Xbox. I mean, that's awesome that Microsoft got that for them. But it's like it's gonna. I don't want to invest in a game and an IP if it's gonna be locked on a console, you know, later on. But whatever. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it looks really cool.
It does.
I think they're really like, hey, we wanted to make a Fallout game, but we can't. So here's our version of Fallout.
Do you think maybe Microsoft might lean in the direction of, even though we own them, we'll let them make it for multiple consoles because we'll just triple dip. We'll just, you know what I mean?
I mean, I've been thinking that about a lot of things from Microsoft.
Yeah.
You know,
they're just diversifying their portfolio.
Maybe not like, you know, their big titles, like their flagship titles like Gears or Halo or Fable or whatever, but on something like Outer Worlds or Ninja Theory's next project, or you know, even something small like the next Banjo-Kazooie or Conquer or Battletoads. Like, I could see those games going multi-platform and cross-play or whatever at some point. You know, we talked about that on Arsenal X one time. Is like, well, if Microsoft wants to expand the reach of their smaller properties, what if they made like a $30 downloadable Perfect Dark game, and it was, you could play it on all three major platforms, and it was crossplay, and you know, you could buy it on Switch, you could buy it on PlayStation 4, and you guys could all play together, you know. So that's something that we talked about a lot, actually, because you already have to log into your Xbox Live account for Minecraft. You know, your Rocket League account is attached to your platforms, and Fortnite is attached to your Epic account, which is linked to all your platforms. So like, so I don't know. We'll see. I think Microsoft is leaning in that direction. Like, they're dipping their toe in that direction, but
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Plus, like, the big thing is they're not losing any money by doing that, because all their first party stuff's going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So like, to get extra money out of it, why not release Outerlands 2 if they own that IP, you know, on PS4
or PC? Drop it on Steam. That's Steam.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So,
but,
I mean,
that it would just be smart on their part to try and corner that market, and then, you know, it just expands the pool of income that they can have.
Yeah, I mean, like, if they could just have tiers of first party stuff that says, okay, here's the stuff we definitely don't want on PlayStation, but here's the stuff we could dabble with. Here's the stuff that we could release for sure. You know, I think they're already thinking about games a different way, and I think that this is just another.
I mean, like, obviously, you're never going to see Halo or Gears on PlayStation, but I could, like you said, I could see the next Hellblade game from Ninja Theory on a PS4, you know, and Xbox. I could even see them being like, okay, it's going to come to our console for a year first or 6 months, and then you can get it on the other console. You know what I mean? Do like a delayed launch.
Yeah,
you know?
Or like, you know, there was a rumor for a long time that Rare Replay Plus would eventually make its way over to Switch with like the Donkey Kong games on it, and you know, it's just stuff like that. So
they'd be smart to do it. You know, they'd make money over there.
Phil Spencer recently said something where he said, we eventually might put Game Pass on platforms other than Xbox,
which is probably PC.
Well, they already announced it for PC.
No.
So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know, but it's interesting. It's interesting to think about, because Microsoft is such a wild card in so many different places. You know,
they're mainly just going off the whole, let me get it, let's put it everywhere. You know, whereas in like Sony's locked into like it's our console and like that's it. You know, which they might be their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
You know, which kills them, and it might be like you need to get your stuff on PC. You know, so. But then again, it might also be like they have a really strong first party IPs like God of War, Spider-Man, Detroit Becomes Human. They got some good stuff where it's like, yeah, that's enough for people to buy a console. You know,
yeah.
So, and plus, yeah, but we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how not only the next generation gets kicked off, but how it plays out. How well. I really like to see all three just put it to bed, like the cross-platform play, especially Sony. Even though I love Sony, like they've been the biggest asses about this and most closed off about it. Just let people play with people on Xbox or Switch or on PC. Like, what does it matter? Just let people play with their friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's gonna make people more upset, or people who are looking for a console. If that really, you know, because like, if you're like, hey, I'm looking to buy this current gen console. Oh, you're on Xbox. Oh, well, I want to play with you. Well, I gotta buy an Xbox to do it. Oh, well, no. If I can play on PS4 but still get their exclusives, then I'm gonna go that route. You know what I mean? It's whatever. It's just really weird, and it's a situation where they could be more open-minded about things instead of closed off. Because I think that's what would probably kill them eventually. Yeah. But that's all I got for next year. Looking forward to some just more video games, more gaming with good stuff.
I'm hoping I get to play more next year than I did this year.
I think what I'm going to do is probably buy less and try and play more of the backlog.
Yeah.
But then January, I already want to buy a game. I want to pick up Resident Evil 2. That was, I think, the last horror game that I played.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. But anyways, it was a Resident Evil game. That was the last horror game that I played. So it just looks amazing. Have you seen the videos?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. It just looks really good. So I want to pick that up and play that. But other than that, like, beginning of the year is pretty quiet for a while until it's in March. Sekiro's in March, and so is Division 2. So that'll be crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Matt, you got anything?
I have nothing more to add.
Good. Now we can go to bed.
We can go to bed, gentlemen.
I don't have to get up at
4.5 hours. So
no, I have to stay up for another 6 to keep my sleep schedule. So
goddamn.
This has been Nerds Gone Rogue. Game of the Year 2018. It was a good one.
It was a good one.
If you didn't play all those, just play the ones at the top of our list because they're good. Yeah, my name is Matthew Keel. I'm Infinite_Rewind on every social media platform I choose to accept. Alongside me and my bros. Moose, where do we find you?
You find me at Svhenn on all social media platforms that I choose to be on, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm streaming lately. I streamed some Onrush yesterday, which was awesome. That game's great.
That Twitch affiliate.
Yeah, I got affiliate, hanging out and rocking out with that. You can watch me, Jeff, and Jason, my co-hosts, discuss the PlayStation platform on Nerds Gone Platinum. We record live on Tuesdays at 9 if you want to join us. The video and the podcast go live on Thursday mornings. You can tweet us at NG_Platinum, or you can email us with questions, comments, or concerns at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. And that's about it. Corey,
take us home.
You can find me at CoreyNH86 on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on Nintendo Pow Block, where January's giveaway is Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. So if you want to enter that, you just sub to the YouTube channel and email us at nintendopaddleblock@gmail.com. Also, you can find me on Arsenal X and various other shows across Nerds Gone Rogue. Check out ngrradio.com for all of our content and download all of our shows, including Nerds Gone Platinum, Arsenal X, Nintendo Power Block, and of course, Nerds Gone Rogue. This has been a great year, gentlemen.
It has.
It has been a good year.
Let's make 2019 and even more good year. I don't know.
It'll be a good year. It will be good.
I'm tired. But
yeah, I'm tired too.
To quote the final song in Tetris Effect, everything you need is waiting for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Banana and out, everyone.
Until next year.